what witnesses spoke to this, and how can you help us think into your experience of this discussion?
We're trying to follow this because we just talked about another recommendation 7. This is the second grouping of recommendations, and it comes on page 11. So number 7 on page 11. Okay.
Sorry.
The answer, please, Senator Dupuy.
Excusez-moi, Monsieur le Président.
Forgive me, Mr. Chairman. Did I understand the question? You're talking about recommendation 7 on page 12 in French, 11 in English. Page 11 in English. Yes, indeed, it's page 11 in English. It's the coming into force after royal assent. That's the recommendation we're dealing with. I believe that the title of this section shows clearly that there's a majority of senators who rejected what was put forward. This majority of senators deems, based on the witnesses we heard, yes, there are individuals who believe that they would need more time. There are municipalities who told us in answer to a question, yes, it would be nice to have more time, but that's not the critical aspect that matters for them. Have clear legislation, we'll learn to live with it, and we'll apply bylaws afterwards. So in our opinion, the majority of us, there are aspects that led us to the conclusion that organizations were prepared and ready to adapt to the bill as tabled with the date of coming into force as announced. I'll give you a very practical calendar with regard to the police forces. We're May 2nd today. The federal government in April was supposed to set out what equipment would be available to the police for roadside testing, saliva testing, etc. We're May 2nd. The government hasn't done anything yet. It's a minimum of 2 months for municipalities to order this equipment, these devices. So we're talking about May, June, July, and then there's police training, officer training with the equipment. That'll take between 3 and 6 months. And the Nicolet School can only take 50 policemen at one time, and we have to train over 250 of them. So there's a major problem here. If the Cannabis Act came into force on July 1st, we might have a 3 or 6 month period of time during which the police forces in the country wouldn't be able to intervene with roadside testing for people at the wheel. So it's simply a matter of being consistent.
Thank you, Chair. And my question is again to Senator Dupuy about studying the elements in the bill that talk about possession of 5 grams and over for young people. And I wonder if you can help us share with us what was the context of the discussion, because I actually don't see anything in the recommendations relating to the criminalization of young people who possess more than 5 grams.
La discussion qu'on a faite,
the discussion we had dealt with the very technical aspect with regard to the mandate of our committee, Legal Affairs, with regard to penalties, fines, sanctions. What we said, or rather the study that we did, led us to a unanimous recommendation, that of supporting recommendation 6, in other words, the Bar Association's recommendation, providing that nothing must be interpreted under this bill so as to prevent you to call upon the youth criminal justice system for teenagers. In other words, a warning, caution, referral, or extrajudicial sanction. But there was also recommendation 8, which was adopted unanimously, and it says that all of the sanctions provided for young people mustn't be more harsher than those that apply to adults. And if you'll allow me to respond to your previous question.
I'm trying to get all of our committee members in. I've got 3 more, and I've only got 10 minutes. So we're going to have to tighten up both the questions and the answers. Senator